What's going on YouTube? My name is Joshua Wade, and as you can tell by the description, we are going to compare my newly acquired Sony a6400 on a gimbal. We're going to compare the stabilization on a gimbal, the good old school Manfrotto Pixie, and also the kind of super old school monopod that I picked up for, I think, $22 or something like that. So without further delay, let's throw this thing on the gimbal and let's go outside and see what kind of footage we can get out of it. Here it is with the gimbal. This is kind of a best case scenario. I have got it set up. I hope it's focusing on me because I'm wearing my shades and my hat. I've got it set to, ISO set to auto on this one, but I've got the variable ND filter on it because it is really bright out here. It's showing me 100 and, okay, it just jumped up to 160. That's cool. If I can keep it under, you know, 800 on the ISO. So this is with the gimbal, and like I said, this is a best case scenario. Autofocus is picking up on me just fine. Whoa, that's gonna be a little bit blown out, but that's okay. And for audio, I've got my Rode Video Micro. No, I don't have that on yet. I'll get to that later. For audio, I've got my Rode, or my Zoom F1 rather, little field recorder with the lav that you can see. And I want to kind of get out, got my GoPro so I can get like a kind of a B cam. So here is the rig. It's not as far-fetched as you might think as far as if you wanted like a vlogging setup. It is getting kind of heavy though, I'm not gonna lie. This is a little bit heavier than like the GorillaPod or something like that. And right now I'm getting kind of blown out, but the stabilization, I mean, look at how stable it is. So here is program auto. This is complete auto, and it's got my shutter speed at 1/100th. My aperture, it's put it to 11, and my ISO is on auto, but it says it's set to 100 right now. We'll get back inside, and then we'll switch this out with the Pixie, and then we'll go on to the monopod, and we'll see what the difference is. See which one you guys. Obviously, you're gonna like the gimbal better, but we'll see. Okay, so here is something a little bit different, and this is my ideal vlogging rig if I'm gonna run and gun some stuff. You can probably tell I'm on the Pixie, the Manfrotto Pixie, because it's probably shakier than hell. So here is the rig, and I have got the Video Micro on there with the little bracket, so you guys can kind of hear it. I'll switch back and forth. Actually, I'll switch over to the Rode right now. So this is the Rode Video Micro with the little bracket, the cold shoe bracket on the side. How does that sound? I prefer the lav. I'm still wearing my lav and it's recording right now. I prefer it the most because I'm not tethered off. I don't like being tethered, or I'm not tethered to the camera. So that's why the Rode Video Micro would be kind of my second favorite, even though it's not the best audio quality in the world, but it's the simplest run and gun rig. But it's shaky, and I've tried to use softwares to stabilize this out, and I'm trying to hold it stable, believe it or not. I really am. I've tried to use softwares to stable this thing out. I just can't get it to look normal. I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Would you rather have it kind of shaky and simple like this, where you can just grab it and go? Because I'll go over some pros and cons of all of these rigs whenever I get back inside. Okay, so here it is with the monopod now. Same setup, Rode Video Micro on the side because I can, and like I said on the gimbal, I'll go over why you can't. It just, well, I'll just tell you right now, it can't handle it. That little gimbal cannot handle the weight. This camera itself is already kind of at the max payload of the gimbal of the Zhiyun Crane M2. I don't care what people say. I am not trying to put a Sigma 16mm on that thing, because when I put the Rode Video Micro on it, it literally went to sleep. It showed the little Z's and turned off on me, and I had to catch my camera before it smacked the side of the gimbal. Here's this rig. And obviously I don't have so much of a so obviously I don't have so much of a reach. So, but it looks more stable to me. I'm not doing the ninja walk, and this is set to auto on the settings for the a6400. And you know, I don't know, it looks a little more stable to me now looking at the screen. You know, this auto might actually work out. How's it? Still getting me? Still getting me? And Let me switch over to the Rode Video Micro now off of my lav audio. So here's the Rode Video Micro. On the monopod, obviously it's not going to sound any different tone-wise, but it is closer to my face because of this monopod. I don't have that angle like I had with the Pixie or the gimbal, so it's a little bit closer. I don't know if that would change the sound of it too much at all. So what did you guys think? I watched the footage, and I mean, obviously the gimbal is more stable. I do have another video on my channel of me comparing my A50-100 that sadly I sold in order to buy the A6400. Spoiler alert, I don't regret it, but the A50-100 is a great camera. So if you ever get a chance to buy one for cheap and you don't mind 1080, buy that thing because it's an awesome camera. Obviously the Pixie Mini is shaky as hell. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow whenever you're looking at stabilization, and I've tried to stabilize these things in post and it just doesn't look natural to me. You get that warpy thing like in DaVinci Resolve and stuff like that. You get that warp effect and it looks so weird to me. I've tried applications on my iPhone and my iPad, like that D-Shake app or whatever it is, and it still looks a little wonky to me. The monopod, I actually noticed a difference. It was slightly more stable. It was way better than the Pixie. Again, not the most convenient though, because that thing is about 2.5, 3 feet long collapsed. So I guess you gotta kind of sacrifice one thing over to the other. Do you want ease of use with just the Pixie, which, yeah, I love this thing. I really love the idea behind it, especially with the Rode Video Micro on it. Makes it a super easy setup to just carry around and vlog with. When you're using that thing, it takes forever to balance the Zhiyun Crane M2. It doesn't balance as easy as bigger gimbals does. This camera is at the top of the payload for that gimbal. Do not try to throw a Sigma 16mm on this thing. It's not gonna work. I don't care what those videos say. If they are balancing it properly, they're gonna burn their motors up. So if you're looking at an A6400 and you're seriously thinking of getting the Zhiyun Crane M2, don't. Get a bigger gimbal. These are my final thoughts, kind of. I guess I should put that in the description. Final thoughts are like on the screen, right? Don't get the Zhiyun M2 if you're going to get a 6400, because if you go with anything other than a kit lens, you're going to have problems. Like I said, me trying to throw the Rode Video Micro on this camera and on the gimbal, which it's not a heavy microphone at all, it exceeded the payload of the gimbal, and it just started giving me all kind of crazy problems, and I could hear the motors grinding, and it just was not good. So that's it for me, guys. If you got any value out of this video, please subscribe. Continued support is greatly appreciated. It helps me out as a content creator, and it is free for you. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I do my best to respond to every comment that I get. I try. Sometimes my notifications don't come through and I don't get them, but I promise you I will try my best to answer everybody's questions. And if you want to see any reviews, or if you have any questions about the A6400, leave those down below too, and I'll post videos as I learn more about this camera and how to use it, coming from the A50-100 to the 6400. All right, so thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.